Prehab, rehab, and doing what you thought was impossible. What's up, guys? I just put up a new blog on the website. It's called Facebook, Fitness, and Our Empty Bank Accounts. All right? Now, here's the deal. The three areas that I see a lot of people struggling in, we struggle with social media, struggle to relate well to social media. We're struggling with our waistlines. They're getting bigger every year. It's not a good thing. All right? And our bank accounts are getting smaller. We're maybe in the red, okay? Dealing with debt, things like that. So here's the deal, all right? I see fundamental problems with all three of these things, so let's talk about those, all right? Number one, we live in a culture that's obsessed with more, with excess. The second thing is we're dealing with addiction in all three of these areas. And finally, we lack self-discipline in all three of these areas and probably other areas of our life, okay? So number one, we live in a culture of more. We live in a culture that's obsessed with more money, more food, all right? We want more money in our bank accounts. We want more vacations, longer vacations, more room in our house, a bigger car, all right? We want more. We want excess food at Thanksgiving. We want excess gifts at Christmas, and we want excess celebration for our birthdays and other big events. All right, and I'm not talking about more in the sense that, hey, I don't even have enough to be full. I'm not even full. I can't even eat till I'm satisfied. No, in that case, yeah, more is good. If you can't pay your bills, more money is good. But I'm talking about when we already have enough and we're not smart with how we allocate our money, with how we allocate our time. All right, I'm talking about we already have enough, but we want more. We want excess, all right? And I think the reason that we want more is because we believe that we're going to get joy, peace, and contentment from those three things, from Facebook, social media, from money, from food, and we're not, all right? I think we're realizing that we're not because we get a temporary high from these things, from spending money we don't need to on Amazon, from spending all day on Facebook, from eating foods that we don't need, okay? We get a temporary high. It feels good for a little bit. It sounds good at the time, and we regret it, okay? Which brings me into our second point, right? So I think we're bombarded with a culture that tells us to have more, and we think that more is the answer to our internal problems, but it's not. And that brings us to the second point of addiction. I think we're all dealing with some level of addiction in these areas. How many times have you closed out the Facebook app only to reopen it 2 seconds later? Not because you needed to check anything, not because you forgot somebody sent you an important message that you needed to answer. No. How many times have you opened it? Because I've done this a million times. I do it daily. I don't know how many times. I don't want to know how many times I opened up my Facebook account. I'm sure it's insanely, it's a lot. All right. And I'm not talking about for work. All right. Just doing it for no reason. All right, that's an addiction. All right, how many times have you spent money on, especially Amazon? Man, Amazon is so fun to spend money on. It's so easy. I'm not talking about $500 purchases. I'm talking about 10, 20 bucks on stuff that sounds like a good idea. You might use it once, but you don't actually need it. Yep, you know what I'm talking about? Because I've been there. I do that. All right, so spending money on stuff you don't need, that's an addiction. All right, how many times, and I'm super guilty of this one, how many times do you eat foods that you don't need? They just sound good at the time. Ice cream, cheesecake, Oreos. And I'm not talking about it's bad to have these things. Eat them at a celebration, but how many times you just eat them because you're bored, because you're sad, because you're lonely, all right? Because you're whatever. Like we use all three of these things as an escape from reality. It's a temporary high, it's an addiction. And here's the thing. Part of it's our fault because we want excess. We give into those addictions. But at the same time, addictions, it's just like an addiction to a drug. It's hard to break. And so there are people out there, there are food engineers who try to create foods that are addictive by nature. There are people out there who want you to use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, so they make it addictive. So you get that dopamine rush in your head. It feels good. You want to keep coming back for more. You keep scrolling through your newsfeed, even though you're like, why am I doing this? But you're scrolling through your newsfeed. That's an addiction. You continue to go Amazon, buy crap you don't need. And it's exciting when you hit that purchase now. You get that gift. It's like a reward. It's like Christmas Day. You open up 2 days later, get that gift. It's exciting, all right? But that's exactly it. People are making millions of dollars to design these systems, these apps, these foods that keep you coming back for more and more and more, but it's an addiction, all right? And I think the first step is just recognizing that it is an addiction. It's gonna be hard to break, but it is an addiction. We need to acknowledge that. It is what it is. All right, finally, self-discipline. So enough of talking about our crappy situation, all right? There's two ways we can react to this. Number one, I think we can be really passive. We can whine, we can complain about how crappy our situation is and not do anything about it. We can continue to be overweight, broke, and unhappy spending all our time on Facebook rather than living in reality, interacting with real people face to face. Okay, so that's one option, and that's an option that a lot of you are going to take, unfortunately. But I like action. I want to do something about it. And I'm not saying I don't have these things down, but I want to fight against these things, all right? Because here's the deal. Money's not bad. Food is not bad. We need money. We need food to survive. Social media can be a great thing. It allows me to keep up with my grandparents who live in Florida, who I otherwise wouldn't have much contact with. I get to keep up with friends from high school. It's really good. All right. I've used it to grow my business. If it was not for social media, I would not have steel string training. You would not be seeing this right now. You would not be getting the fitness help that I'm offering. And so there's a lot of good to these things. We survive with food. We survive with money. But these things make wonderful servants, but they're horrible masters, okay? And that's what I want. I want to be able to spend my money in a way that provides for my family, gives me the things that I need, and even and supports the things that I believe in, but also allows me to spend things on vacations or some things that I want that I don't necessarily need. I want to enjoy my money without it dictating, without it ruling me, okay? I want to own my money. I don't want it to own me. All right, I want to own my time on Facebook. I want to continue to grow my business through social media. I want to continue to keep up with each of you, my friends, through social media. But I don't want to spend hours, countless hours on my phone, my computer. I want to eat food, and I want to enjoy delicious food, but I want to eat in a way that it fuels my body. And I do want to eat in celebrations sometimes, weddings, birthdays, things like that. They're worthy of celebration, and food is a good thing. Historically, I think we eat as celebration. That's good, but I want to dictate when I eat and what I eat and how much I eat. I don't want food to rule me. I want to rule the food, okay? I want a lean, strong, healthy body, enjoy delicious food without letting food rule me, okay? So that's what I want. And ultimately, this is a big kicker, this is a big line. Tweet it, post it on Facebook, Instagram, get a little motivational picture. It's going to be really good. Ultimately, I want my body to be a physical representation of the self-discipline I have in all other areas of life. So is that what you want? I hope that's what you want. So here's the deal. I want you to join me in this fight against, addiction, this mentality of more. I want us to have self-discipline. I want to practice that self-discipline. So if you're with me, like this video, comment below, let me know what you think. If you need any fitness advice, if you need any fitness help, I'm here for you. I want to answer your questions. No charge, no money. Just ask your questions, reach out to me. I will help you. I want to see you succeed, all right? I want to see you get leaner. I want to see you in control of food, in control of your finances, and in control of your time on Facebook.